On this episode of Road Dirt, Ryan Nolan gives us an update on the REV'IT Hyperspeed 2 race suit. Stay tuned.
Some of you may have seen I did a first impressions and unboxing video previously on the REV'IT gear, and this video today is going to be about my first on-track experience actually riding and using the gear. Now what I'm going to do here in a minute is cut to some footage that I took down at the track. So I was down at Barber Motorsports Park a couple weeks ago, and the footage I'm going to cut to is my raw, real first impressions after riding in the gear over 2 days. That way you guys can kind of see my initial impressions, my initial thoughts. And then we'll kind of regroup at the end once those clips are over. Now, before we get to those though, I do want to cover a couple quick little things and kind of recap. So what I decided to do for the trip is I was just going to wear the REV'IT Hyperspeed 2 suit, which is all new for this year, and then the undersuit. But then I decided to actually hold off on using the League 2 gloves, because what I decided to do, since with racing I always try and have kind of the upper tier of the full-on race gloves, is I actually decided to order myself a pair of REV'IT's top-end race glove, which is the REV'IT 3 glove. And I ordered myself a pair of those so I could just kind of have a consistent test and compare to similar gloves that I already use. Now, one thing I do want to note about those gloves is for the REV'IT 3 gloves, I was talking with Matthew over at REV'IT when I was trying to figure out what size to order, and he actually recommended I order a size up from what I normally run. So normally I'm in a size large, and in the League 2 gloves, the REV'IT League 2 gloves, I actually ordered a size large and they fit fine. So for the REV'IT 3 gloves, I ended up ordering an extra large, and they ended up fitting really well. One thing I will note about the gloves is I noticed in the pointer finger, and this is actually a pretty common thing for me in pretty much every race glove that I've had, is the pointer finger is just a hair long, but it's not something I really noticed when I was out on track. And you'll kind of see some more information about that when I get to those clips. But I just wanted to note that, so I didn't try the League 2 gloves on this trip just because I wanted to keep things consistent and not add in too many variables, since I was going to be riding a new bike to me and a brand new track, so I didn't want to throw in too many other variables and things to think about. So with that being said, let's cut over to that footage and you guys can see my first thoughts and impressions on the gear. Okay, quick update. Did my first session at Barber, first time in the suit. And again, my mind, I was trying to keep my mind thinking about too many things. I didn't even think about the suit, which is a good thing in a way, because it wasn't uncomfortable. It felt really good. I mean, it has to break in just a little bit more because I do have the Tech Air Race, or the Tech Air 5 in, rather, so I can tell it's breaking just a little bit, but honestly, I didn't even think about the suit. It felt good. Nothing was really restricting. Honestly, I think more of the restriction was I have some brand new boots on too, and I could tell those were stiff. The REV'IT 3 gloves, I could tell they need a little bit more breaking in. I should have worn them on the drive down or something to break them in, but that's my own fault. So not faulting the gloves on that. But the suit overall feels good. It's about, I'd say, mid-70s right now. So, I can't say one way or the other how it is in the heat, but it is perfed. So felt good. I was able to get my armored shorts on underneath, because when I first tried the suit on, I wasn't able to, and I thought it felt pretty good even with my slightly meatier quads. But I was able to get those on, and they aren't bunched up or riding up in any way. Yeah, the race vest went on fine. I even was able to put a chest protector in. That being said, it may be a little bit looser if I put in just my chest back protector, but I'll test it later and see. And one tip, I guess I'll say, and that I've found from reading that people will do, in case you didn't already know this and you have a Tech Air 5, is put it in the suit before you put it on. So I put the the Tech Air 5, I laid the suit down and put the arms in and then laid it on the suit and then sat down and got into it and got this on. If you try, you can still do it if you try to put the vest on and then put the suit on, but it's a lot more difficult. So just one little trick I learned. Continuing my testing duties in the REV'IT Hyperspeed 2 suit, and then today you can kind of see I've got on their undersuit, and it feels really nice. You know, there's not really a lot to say about undersuits. I guess it, like I said in my original first impressions video that I'll kind of talk about again, this has kind of a crossbody opening, which is a little bit more unique, and then the zipper actually stops partway down, so you kind of have to do one arm and then the other. But feels really nice. It's not bunching up or like snagging anywhere, and I do like it's got some. You can't see them right now, but it's got some. There's some loops for your thumb if you want to use that. So I got like the little kind of touch points and options they did there, and it's got some neat little REV'IT stitching, which I'm sure will come off after years of use in my sweat and being washed, because I'm a bit of a sweaty person. I'm sure you all wanted to know that. But yeah, everything feels really good so far. I finally drug my knee so that's obviously a sign that I'm cool now and things are going in the right direction. So you can kind of see there's a little, look at that. I don't know if you can see it, but look at that. Oh boy, I'm so excited. It is, I will say it is interesting. So with these knee pucks, they're rounded. All the other ones I've used are a lot more flat and wide like a square. And I can actually tell and feel when I'm out on track, and it doesn't feel bad, it just feels different. But suit feels good. Like I said, don't even notice it when I've got it on. Gloves feel good. I can tell they're pretty much broken in and everything now. Got a good feel for all the controls. Good, I'm gonna say good grip, good traction on the bars and controls and everything. Blue is not a color I normally run for racing, ever. But I'm kind of liking it. I don't know that I'll keep it, but I'm definitely going to keep it for a bit. I don't know how long, but for now we're just gonna ride this out and see what happens. But I'm really digging the colors and the gloves. The gloves really pop, which I really like. Which, given the color of the bike currently, is really the only way I'm identifiable on track. So that's where we're at now. So lunch should be over in a little bit, and then we're gonna get back out on track. All right, so that is my impressions over 2 days of the new REV'IT gear. As you can see, and I even kind of thought of this at the time, was, at least I thought my response and my reaction to everything was kind of subdued. But I actually took it as a really big positive, just because, as I noted, I basically was just to be able to throw on the gear and go and not think about it. And that's really what you should want, right? You shouldn't be there, you know, worrying and feeling the gear when you're on track, because you want to be able to concentrate on your riding. And I wanted to be able to concentrate on this new bike and this new track. So the fact that I didn't have to think about the gear, that I was able to just throw it on and go, gives it, you know, really high marks in my opinion. You know, the gear felt really comfortable right away. I was able to put it on, like I said, with my armored shorts, with the Tech Air 5, the new REV'IT 3 gloves. Everything felt great. There wasn't any point where I was on track thinking, oh, it feels like it's tight here or uncomfortable there, and breaking my concentration from focusing on learning the track. You know, everything just worked. Didn't have to think about it, like I said. And, you know, I did note with those gloves, I didn't have any issues with braking or accelerating and grabbing the brake levers there, even with that little bit of extra length in the pointer finger. Didn't give me any issues. Didn't even notice it. Now with the undersuit, I did wear the REV'IT undersuit on the second day. As you saw, I didn't wear it on both days, partly because I didn't want to be wearing the same sweaty undersuit for 2 days in a row. And I figured undersuit would be an easy enough thing that I could test 2 different undersuits and not notice the difference, unless there was something egregiously wrong, which there wasn't. But similar to my first impressions video, when putting on the undersuit, since the zipper design's a little bit different, where it comes down about 2/3, 3/4 of the way, and there's a solid sewn seam, and then there's a secondary zipper at the bottom for when nature calls. Because of that, I had to basically put one arm in at a time. Other undershoots I've had, I can kind of put both arms in at the same time. Now, depending on your build, you may not experience that, but that was just one thing that I noted, because I obviously didn't want to rip the undersuit, considering it was brand new. But that was just one thing to note. Not a negative, really. It's something different. You know, I know all the brands are going to try and do things a little bit differently, and the undersuit felt good. Felt like it wicked moisture well. Wasn't too hot or too thick. I've had some other undersuits in the past where they actually were kind of thick compared to others I've had, and it actually, you know, felt like it was actually holding more heat in. But this one felt great. Fit and finish was really nice, and similar to the suit and the gloves, I didn't have to give it a second thought. Didn't think about it when I was on track. I just put it on and went, which is pretty par for the course for an undersuit. Like I said, unless there's something ridiculously wrong, like, you know, you're wearing one that's 2 sizes too small, or there's holes in it, or the zipper gets caught, or fits really weird. But didn't have any of those issues. All the gear overall felt great. Like I said, the Hyperspeed 2 suit felt good. And as I noted in the video, and this applies for really any suit with that Tech Air 5 vest, is I would put the vest on in the suit first and then put the suit and vest on together, versus put the vest on and then put the suit on. It tends to bunch up a bit more, especially in the back. But that's not a knock on the suit. It's just a procedural thing. I just wanted to make sure I shared with all of you. Yeah, with that being said, overall impression of the gear has been great so far. Really recommend checking it all out. And for my next couple of videos, what I'm actually planning to do is do an even more deeper dive, detailed breakdown into the suit. I'm going to do kind of a tabletop review of the suit and the gloves, specifically the REV'IT gloves, because obviously I haven't tried the League 2 gloves yet. But my plan is to compare those to other race gloves that I have and other race suits that I have, and I'll put those on so you can kind of see how each one fits. You know, where one might be longer than the other, or shorter than the other, or fit a little bit differently in a certain area. That way I can start kind of breaking that down in more detail to help you kind of make the best decision for you, and kind of see if the Hyperspeed 2 suit and the REV'IT gloves are going to be the right choice for you. So if you have any questions or anything you'd like me to compare or see, please comment and let me know, because I'll either get back to that answer and that question in the comments, or I will try to answer that question in the next video and give you information on what you're looking for. And then my next video after that should be around the time race season kicks off and track season kicks off. So I'm going to start doing some direct comparisons on track, some of those items that I'm going to go over. So I'll be wearing different gloves. I'll try and even do different suits. Again, to get kind of those direct comparisons to give you more information and kind of show you how the REV'IT gear all performs, which so far has been really great. So with that being said, shout out to my man Rob over at Road Dirt for giving me the opportunity to test out all this awesome REV'IT gear, and Matthew over at REV'IT for providing all this awesome REV'IT gear and helping me figure out the sizing for those ref gloves, and just being really helpful and very informative along the way. So like I said, if you have any questions, please let me know. Please send me a message or comment on the video on anything you'd like to know, anything you'd like to see in the upcoming videos, and I will do my best to get to those, because my whole goal with all of this is just kind of provide all this information for all of you, help you make the right decision, and show you what all this is all about. So with that all being said, please give the video a like. Please feel free to subscribe to the channel. Really helps support us and keeps us motivated to keep doing videos like this. And with that being said, this is Ryan with Road Dirt, signing off for now. Ride life.